Hi there, history fans. So today we have finally the video called History of the Entire World, I guess, from billwurtz. But before you jump into the reaction part of the video, I would like you to take three things into account. So the first thing is I'm from Europe or from a European country. So there's probably going to be some, like things that you probably won't agree with because it's from a European perspective. If you have some other opinions on some stuff that I'm going to comment about, just put it down in the comment section below. The second thing is this video is talking about the history of the entire world in 20 minutes. And it jumps around different topics and different parts of the earth. So it's pretty hard to catch everything. So I won't be able to cover everything. And I also don't want to pause the video every, 15, 20 seconds. To explain something so that the video is, 6-7 hours long. So I will try to get it under an hour. And the third thing is if you have any corrections, additional information, interesting stuff, or whatever, just let me know in the comment section below. I will appreciate it, and I think our community is also going to appreciate it. The original video, as always, is going to be in the description below. Go give him a view and a like. He definitely deserves it with this video. And yeah, if you want to join our Discord community or our community here on YouTube, just hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And everything you need to know is down in the description below, every link. And yeah. So, okay, let's jump into the video. It's going to be pretty hard for me. I think that one of the professional deformations for every person that kind of studied history is that we are always talking about everything. So it's going to probably be a little bit hard to not pause the video every 15 seconds to say, I know some stuff about this, or this is very important, and so on. So yeah, okay, let's stop with the rambling and let's jump into the video.
Hi, you're on a rock, floating in space. Pretty cool, huh? Some of it's water. Fuck it. Actually, most of it's water. I can't even get from here to there without buying a boat. It's sad. I'm sad. I miss you. How did this happen? A long time ago. Actually, never. And also now. Nothing is nowhere. When? Never. Makes sense, right? Like I said, it didn't happen. Nothing was never anywhere. That's why it's been everywhere. It's been so everywhere, you don't need a where. You don't even need a when. That's how every it gets.
Yeah, when you talk about the early stages of the world and the universe, you always also need to take into account different sciences like astronomy,
I want to be
physics,
go somewhere, do something,
and also
I want
biology
things to change.
later on,
I want
and
to
so
invent
on.
time and
So
space, and I know it's possible because
really
everything is here, and
and
it
big
probably already
topic.
happened. I just don't know when to start. And that's exactly where it started. Oh, I paused it. I think there's a universe now. What's it made of? Quarks and stuff. Ah, that's
and
a thing.
Elements,
in a place.
later on,
Don't like it? Try a new place.
Protons, neutrons, electrons.
Try to stick together because the world is going to get
Gravity
bigger
is very
emptier.
important for
But
the
it's not empty yet.
development of
It's still very
planets.
full and about 1 jillion degrees. Great news. The quarks are now happily married in groups of 3 called a proton or a neutron. And there's something else flying around too that wants to join in but can't because it's still too... Great news. The protons and neutrons are now happily married to each other. Some of them even doubled up. Great news, the electrons have now joined in. Congratulations, the world is now a bunch of gas in space. But it's getting closer together.
Gravity and gravity
and it's getting closer together. And it's getting closer together.
Going to put all the materials together to condense
New
them.
shit just got made.
Yep.
Some stars burn out and die. Bigger stars burn out and die with passion and make some brand new, way crazier shit. Space dust. Which allows newer, more interesting stars to be made and then die and explode into even crazier space dust. So now stars have cool stuff around
the
them,
universe.
like rocks, ice, and funny clouds, which can make some very interesting things. Like this ball of flaming rocks, for example. Holy shit, we just got hit with another ball of flaming rocks. And it kind of made a mess.
Starting.
Which is now... Weather update, it's raining rocks from outer space. Weather update, those rocks might have had water inside them and now there's hot
water
steam
is maybe
in the
one
sky.
of the most
Weather
important
update, cooler
things
temperatures
that
today and the floor is no longer lava.
And
Weather
the world.
update, it's raining. Severe flooding alert, the entire world is now an ocean. Volcano alert, that's land. There's life in the ocean. What?
Yeah, one of the most important things for Earth, besides gravity in those early stages, was water. Why? Because the world didn't have an ozone layer back then. And the gamma radiation, or whatever it's called in English, from the sun, they would hit the surface of the earth. So everything that started to evolve on the outside of the oceans would practically burn down. So all of the microscopical, like bacteria, animals later on and whatever, they started in the oceans because they were like a protective layer for all the beings that started to evolve in the underwater. So every time when astronomers are looking for other planets and to see if there's some bacteria or living beings on other planets, they always search for planets that have potential water in them.
What? Something's alive in the ocean. Oh, cool, like a plant or an animal? No, a microscopic speck. It lives at the bottom of the ocean and eats chemical soup, which is being served hot and fresh, made from gnarly space ingredients left over from when it was raining rocks or whatever. Oh yeah, and it can do that.
Multiply.
It has secret instructions written
DNA.
inside itself telling it how to build another one of itself. So that's pretty nifty, I would say. Tired of living at the bottom of the ocean? Now you can eat sunlight. Using a revolutionary technique, you can convert sunlight into food.
Nice.
Side effect, now there's oxygen everywhere and the sky's blue. Then the Earth might have been a snowball for a while, maybe even a couple of times.
And then
It's a sponge, it's a plant, it's a worm, and some other types of weird, strange water bugs and strange fish. It's the Cambrian explosion.
Yeah.
Wow, that's animals and stuff. But we're still in the ocean. Hey, can we go on land? No. Why? The sun is a deadly laser. Oh, okay. Not anymore, there's a blanket. Now the animals can go on land. Come on, animals, let's go on land. Nope, can't walk yet.
Yep.
And there's no food yet, so I don't care. Okay, will you learn to walk if there's plants up here? Maybe, said some bugs and fish. Okay, so I can go on land, but I have to go back in the water to have babies. Learn to use an egg.
Yeah, just a quick note. When we talk about history, it's always complicated for people to comprehend the time frames we're talking about. Hundreds and millions of years for, I don't know, one animal to just go outside water and to, I don't know, plant an egg on the surface and so on. So those are very big time frames we're talking about. So, and it's pretty hard to, imagine it in your head. Or to comprehend it.
Use a stronger egg. Put water in it. Have a baby on land
and
in
then
an egg. Water is in the egg.
They could
baby
walk,
in the egg.
walk
In the
on
water.
the earth.
In the egg.
Yep.
Works for me. Bye bye ocean. And now everything's huge, including bugs. Want to see a map of the land? Sure. Oh fuck! Now everything's dead. Just kidding. Here are the survivors. Keep your eye on this one because it's about to become the dinosaurs. Yep. Here's another map of the land. Yeah, it broke apart. Don't worry about it. It does that all the time. Here comes a meteor.
Extinctions.
Are gone. It's mammal time. Here come the mammals. Look at those breasts.
Very
Now they're going to
important
dominate the
because
world.
they
And one of them
could
just learned how to grab
their
stuff and walk.
kids, children,
walk like
whatever.
that and grab stuff at the same time.
Also very
And bang rocks
important
together
that
to
people
make
could use their
winograms.
hands
Ouch,
to
and
make
set things on
tools,
fire. Youch,
to
and
communicate
make crazy
with
sounds
each
with their
other and
voice.
so on.
Which can mean different
Of
things.
course, fire being one of the
And now they're
most
everywhere.
important inventions of human,
What?
spreading
You can
from
walk over
Africa
here?
everywhere. Yeah.
Well, I guess we're stuck here now. Let's review. There's people on the planet, and they're chasing their food. Fuck it, time to plant some grass. Look at this. I control the food
Yeah,
now.
this is
now
maybe
everyone
one of
will want
the
to be my friend and live near me.
most
Let's all
important
build
things that
houses,
happen
except mine is
for
bigger because I
humanity.
own the food.
The
This is great. I wonder if anyone else...
domestication of animals and also the farming part of humanity when they started to or evolved from a hunter-gatherer society to a farmer society or a stable society. That is maybe one of the most important things that happened to humanity. Why? Because if you're a hunter-gatherer community, you always depend on the stuff that's around you. And sometimes you would overhunt or overgather the stuff, and then there's no animals and plants that you could gather, and then you need to move, which brings a lot of potential harm to yourself, your community, and whatever. And by the gathering part, you could also gather some plants that are maybe toxic, which results in death, or maybe the death of the whole village. So by having plants and domestic animals, you had a steady, let's call it, income of food. You knew, okay, that food is healthy or isn't poisonous, and you could always control the amount that you have. And also regarding hunting, it's also pretty dangerous back then because they didn't have guns. So if you confront, I don't know, some animals, they could hurt you. Yeah.
else is doing
So
this?
farming
Tired of using
is
rocks for
definitely
everything?
one
Use
of
metal.
the
It's underground.
most important
Better
things.
farming was just invented in a sweet, dank valley right in between these two
Yeah.
rivers, and the animals are helping. Guess what happens next? More food, and more people who came to buy the food. Now you need people to help make the food and keep track of the sales. And now you need
the
houses for people to live
population
in
of
and people
the
to make
earth
the
just
houses. And now there's more
exploded.
people, and they invent things, which makes things better. And more people come, and there's more farming, and more people to make more things for more people. And now there's business, money, writing, laws, power. Society. Coming soon to a dank river valley.
When you talk about history, geography is very important. So if you look at those 4 areas where all the old societies, civilizations, and so on started, Egypt, the Nile River, all the different cultures that started in Mesopotamia, the Indus River, and Huanghe Yangtze, they're all in the same, or almost on the same, parallels, and they have the same climate, which made it possible to grow different plants for the farming. The second thing is they are all connected with land. Yeah, these are big distances, but it was possible to travel between those 4 areas, and people would exchange different like tools, ideas, and methods on how to improve the farming and so on. So when you talk about history, especially in those early stages of human history, geography is very important, because let's compare these 4 with the American, like humans that were living in the Americas. Yeah, there were also some societies, but they developed practically on their own, because they weren't connected with land like those 4. But yeah.
Valley near you. Meanwhile, out in the middle of nowhere, the horse is probably being tamed.
Yeah, the
Why is all my
domestication
metal
of
so
them.
lame and lumpy? Tired
Horse
of
is
using
very
lame, sad
important because
metal?
they use
Introducing
it in
bronze made
farming
with special
and
ingredient tin
also
from the far
war.
lands of Tinland. I don't know, my dealer won't tell me where he gets it. Also, guess what? Egypt. Meanwhile, out in the middle of nowhere, they figured out how to put wheels on a horse. Now we're getting somewhere. Also, China. And did I mention
China is very important. Yeah, and it's so
the Middle East is
too
getting more
much
complicated.
and too
Maybe because it's
fast.
in the middle of the East. Knock
Yeah.
knock or clap clap.
One of the
It's
most
the people with the horses.
fought
And they made an
over
empire.
area
And
in
then everyone
human
else copied
history.
their horses. Greeks. Ah, look, it must
Because
be the
it's
Greeks.
in the
or
middle
a
of
beta version
everything.
of the Greeks. Let's
Yeah.
check in with the Indus River Valley civilization. They're gone. Guess who's not gone? China. New arrivals in India.
And the
Maybe it's those
Europeans.
horse people I was talking about,
Yep.
or their cousins or something.
They bring a new religion, new
And they wrote
culture,
some
new
hymns and mantras and stuff.
the
You
Vedic
could make a
texts,
religion out of
everything.
this. There's the Bronze Age collapse. Now the
Yeah.
Phoenicians can get down to
Maybe one of
business.
the
Also, can we
most
switch to a metal
important
that's a little
colony
easier to find?
is
Thanks. Look who
Carthage.
came back to Israel. It's the 12 tribes of Israel. And they believe in God. Just one, though. He's got like a 10-step program. Here's some huge...
Yeah, that was a big thing. Most of the civilizations in that part of the world were polytheistic, so they believed in many gods. And the Jews, later on the Christians, they were monotheistic. So it was a big shock for that part of the earth. And it changed practically everything.
Heads must be the Olmecs. The Phoenicians make some colonies. The Greeks copy their idea and make some colonies.
Yeah,
the Phoenicians
Magna
made a colony
Graecia,
so big it makes colonies. Here
Carthage
comes the
from the
Assyrian
Phoenicians.
Empire. Never mind, it's the
Yeah.
Babylonian Median.
It's just a mess.
Wow, that's big. Ah, the Buddha was just enlightened.
Middle
Who's the
East
Buddha?
was
This guy
always
who sat under a
a
tree for
mess
so long that he
and
figured out how to ignore the
fought
fact that we're all
over
dying.
region
You can make
throughout
religion out of this.
history. Yeah.
Oops, China just broke, but while it was breaking, Confucius was figuring out how to have good morals.
Yeah, all the
The
time.
Greeks just had the idea of thinking about stuff.
Philosophy.
And right over here, Alexander just had the idea of conquering the entire Persian Empire. It's a great idea.
Until
He was
India,
great.
but
And
it
now he's
broke
dead.
apart.
Hopefully the rest of the gang will be
between
able to
his
share
generals.
the empire evenly between them. Knock,
Yeah.
knock, it's Chandra Gupta. He says, get the hell out of here. Will you get the hell out of here if I give you 500 elephants? Okay, thanks,
And
bye.
then he unites or conquers India,
Or most of
or most of India.
But what about this part? That's the Tamil Kings. No one conquers the Tamil Kings.
Yeah, very
Who are the
important.
Tamil Kings. Merchants probably. And
They trade with
I
the
would like to buy the
Arabs.
spices. Me, said the Arabians, swiftly buying it and selling it to the rest of the world.
Yep.
Hey, China put itself back together again, with good morals as their main philosophy.
But they
Actually, they have 3 main philosophies.
does.
Out here, the horse nomads run wild and free, and they would like to ransack your city. Let's check the Greekification levels of the Greekified kingdoms. Greekification overload. Bye, said the Parthians. Bye, said the Jews. Hi, said the Parthians, taking over the entire
You
place.
can see
Hey,
the Middle East
said
was
the Romans,
always
eating the entire Mediterranean for breakfast. Thanks for invading our homeland, said the Jews, who were starting to get tired of people invading their homeland. Hi, everything's great, said some guy who seems to be getting very popular and is then arrested and killed for being too popular, which only makes him more popular. You can make a religion out of this. Want silk? Now you can buy it from China. They just made a...
the Silk Road, very important, especially for the Roman Empire.
Or you can connect
because they bought
new trade
silk.
routes, said India, accidentally spreading their religion to the entire southeast. That's a good place for an epic trading kingdom. There goes Buddhism traveling up the Silk Road. I wonder if it'll reach China before it collapses again. Remember the Persian Empire? Yep.
China always collapsing and going back together. Yeah, but when you're talking about trade, as he said, with trade, and as I said at the beginning, with trade, with all these civilizations more or less connected with land, they would also have trade with each other. And with trade, you trade not only goods, but also ideas, ways of life, equipment, religion, everything. So as the world, with new technology, new transportation and so on, as the world gets smaller and smaller, as some people say it, the ideas travel faster and faster between different parts of the earth.
Said the Persians, making a new one. Axum is getting so powerful they would like to build a long stick. Has anyone populated Madagascar yet? Let's do it together. China's home again.
Broke again.
Still can't cross the Sahara Desert? Try camels. Hell yeah, now we got business, said the Gupta Empire,
the Romans
selling lots of
couldn't
gold.
just
Hi, I live in the Roman
go
Empire,
over the Sahara. It was a buffer for the rest of Africa.
Actually, okay, sure, said Constantine, moving the capital way over here to be closer to his main rival. Don't worry about Rome, it won't fall. It's the
Yeah, it will.
There's the Gupta Empire, not Chandragupta, just Gupta. First name Chandra, the first.
Yep.
Guess who's in Rome? Barbarians. What's a barbarian? Non-Romans, said the Romans, being invaded by non-Romans. R.I.P. Roman Empire. Or actually just half of it. The other half is just fine, but it's not in Rome anymore.
A big thing for European history, all the invasion of all the different tribes.
And here's a huge city, population everyone. The Gok Turks have taken over the entire Eurasian steppe. Great job, Gok Turks.
Yep.
How's India? Broken. How's China? Back together. How's those trading kingdoms? Bigger and there's more of them. Korea has 3 kingdoms. Japan has a kingdom. It's the Sunrise Kingdom. Deep in the Arabian desert, on the top of a mountain, the real God whispers in Muhammad's ear. So he goes down to the cube where everyone worships gods, and he tells them their gods are all fake. And everyone got so mad at him, they had to leave town and go to a different town. You can make a religion out of this, and maybe conquer the world as well.
Yep.
The Roman Empire is long gone, but somehow the Pope is still the Pope. Plus there's new kingdoms all over Europe. I wonder if there's room for Moors. Here's all the wisdom. In a house. It's the Baghdad House of Wisdom. Just in time for the Islamic Golden Age. Let's bring stuff to the coast.
Because the Arabs... at that time, a lot of the Greek scriptures that kind of went practically lost and forgotten were taken from the Arabs, and they were translated. Actually, some of the, like Greek philosophers and thinkers and so on, in some of their books or whatever, were translated first from Greek to Arab, and then from Arab to Latin. And they were pretty important. There are some philosophers and thinkers later on, but also at that time frame, like Ibn Sin, Ibn Rushd, and so on. So
and sell it and become the Swahili on the Swahili coast.
Big impact on
Remember this tiny space you have to go through to get from here to there?
Thinking
Someone
later
owns that
on
now.
and so on.
Want to get enlightened in the middle of nowhere? The Franks have the biggest kingdom in Europe, and the Pope is so proud that he invites the king over for Christmas. Surprise! You're the new Roman emperor, said the Pope, pretending to still be part of the Roman Empire. Then the Franks broke their kingdom into what will later be called France and not
Holy
France.
Roman
the
Empire,
Northerners,
oh my God,
just
this
Norse
is so,
if you don't have much time, are exploring.
So
they go
fast.
north, from the north to the northern north, and they find some land,
Greenland,
2 types of land,
Iceland,
and they name them accordingly.
They also went to the Americas.
They also invade some other places and get called many names, such as Vikings.
Yeah.
There's the Rus.
But they
the
also
Kievan
went
Rus. Are they
into
Vikings?
the Mediterranean.
I don't think so, said the Kievan Rus. Okay, fair enough. The Pope is ready to make some more emperors of the Roman Empire, the Holy Roman Empire. It's actually Germany, but don't worry about it. New kingdoms.
It's not holy, it's
Which
not
brand
Roman.
would you like? Mine's better, mine's better, mine's better. Time to conquer England, said William. It's a bird, it's a plane. It's the Seljuk Turks, said the Byzantine Empire, who's getting so small it almost doesn't exist anymore. We need help. They need help, so they call the Pope. Hey, Pope, can you help us get rid of the Seljuks? Maybe take back the Holy Land on the way? Come on, I know you want to take back the Holy Land. Yes, I do actually want to do that. Let's do a crusade.
Some of them failed.
They did many crusades, some of which almost didn't fail, but at least the Italians got some sweet trade deals.
Yeah, especially the Venetians.
Goodbye, Toltecs. Hello, Mississippi. Look at those mounds. There's the Pueblo. I always wondered how to build a town in a cliff. Guess who's here? Come here. Where? Here. And Pagan is there. Vietnam unconquered itself, Korea just became itself, and Japan is so addicted to art that the military might have to take over the government. China just invented bombs and typing, and the Mongols just invaded most of the universe. Nice going, Genghis. I bet that will last a long time. Some of the Islamic Turks were unaffected by the Mongol invasions because they were busy invading India. Is it Tonga time? I think it's Tonga time. I just found out where the Swahili gets all their gold. Look at this Chad. Means lake. There's an empire there, right in the middle of it. The king of Mali is so rich he's going on tour to let everyone know. Wow, that guy's rich, everyone said. The Christians are doing a great job reconquering Iberia, which will soon be called Spain and not Spain. Please remain Christian. We will check in later to see if you're still Christian when you least expect. Whoops, half of Europe just died. China's back, yay! Hey, come here, time to share. New kingdoms here and there. Oh, look who controls all the islands. It's the Mahajapit, Majapahit, Mapajahit, Mahapajit, Mapajahit, Majapahit. Oh, Italy's really rich. Time for them to care a lot about art and the ancient classics. It's kind of like a rebirth.
Renaissance.
Here's a printer. Let's make books. So you think you can conquer the business?
Okay, Gutenberg and his printing machine. Yeah, it's pretty important for the spread of knowledge. And as I said, while the trade routes are expanding, transportation, everything, now you have also a greater amount of books that could be read from different people from different places in Europe. But the thing that's slowing it down is that still most of the population in Europe and throughout the world were illiterate. So mostly the clergy or influential people, or feudal lords and aristocrats, they would read those books and then go into art and different stuff. So although the book spread the knowledge and everything, it was still for a smaller percentage of humans or of people. So you think you can conquer the Byzantine Empire? What, the Ottomans? Yeah, they can.
Byzantine Empire? Yep, said the Ottoman Turks. Nice job, Ottoman Turks. Oops, you missed a spot. Don't forget to ban Europe from the Indian spice trade. Yeah, this is pretty important. The fall of Constantinople.
Spiceless. Well, I guess we'll... that just triggered the Europeans to find new trade routes to India. And of course then they discovered the Americas.
Wait, said Christopher Columbus, probably smoking crack. If the world is round, let's go this way to India. No, don't worry, we already got this, said Portugal. So Chris goes to Spain. Hey Spain, want to hire me to find India by going around back of the world? No, please, no, please, no, please. Okay. So he sails into the ocean and discovers more ocean, and then discovers the Indies and Japan.
Yeah, and as I said, geography is very important for history. So as you saw, the fall of Constantinople, it just cut down the trade between Europe and India, and they wanted to find new trade routes. That's why you have Magellan, Christopher Columbus, Vasco da Gama, and so on. And
let's draw a line to decide who gets which half of the world. The Aztec and Inca empires are off to a great start. I wonder if they know that Europe just discovered their continent.
Yeah,
the Habsburgs are marrying into so many royal families they might have to start marrying each other. Move over, Lithuania. Here comes Moscow. Ivan wants to make Russia great again. Move over, Timurids. Maybe go invade India or something. Persia just made Persia Persian again. Let's make it the other kind of Islam. The one where we thought the first guy should have been the other guy.
And it's
hey,
still
Christians,
today,
now you
a
can
big
buy
divide.
your way out of hell. That's bullshit. This whole thing is bullshit. That's a scam.
This divided
Fuck the church.
Europe.
Here's 95 reasons why.
This was also a big thing with Martin Luther, because it divided Europe between the Protestants
wearing an onion hat?
and the Roman Catholics.
Which it is now. What if Russia was big, said Ivan, trying not to be terrible. Portugal had a dream that they controlled the entire Indian Ocean, including the spice trade. And then that dream was real. And Spain realized that this is not India, but they pillaged it anyway. Damn, said England and France. We gotta start pillaging some stuff. Then the Dutch revolt and all the hipsters moved to Amsterdam. Damn, said Amsterdam.
That was
we gotta start pillaging some stuff.
Amsterdam was actually pretty important for European history because, still at that time, a lot of people were, what is it called? captured by and tortured by the church and everything, like thinkers, philosophers, writers, and so on. So a lot of the big thinkers went to Amsterdam because it was more liberal and you could talk about different ideas, publish books, and so on. Maybe the first one that comes to my mind is Spinoza, because he published a lot of books there. Okay.
Can you get to India through North America? No, but at least there's beaver. Question 2, steal
Very
the spice trade.
important.
That's not a question, but the Dutch did it anyway. Guess where all the sugar's made?
Yeah, and they're
in
going
Brazil,
to...
stolen. In the Caribbean.
Yeah.
It's so goddamn profitable, you might forget to not do slavery. The next thing on Russia's to-do list is to get bigger. Britain and France are having a friendly discussion about who should control the entire world, more specifically, Ohio. Then it escalates into a 7-year discussion, giving Prussia a chance to show Austria who's boss. But what about Britain?
Yeah, the war between Prussia and Austria, but then Prussia wins. The 7-year war is a big worldwide conflict between those two superpowers, but it expanded to almost every European superpower back then. So Prussia was involved, and everybody almost. So some of the historians talk about a First World War, that was actually the First World War. But yeah, it had big consequences, not only for Europe, but the rest of the world.
Britain and France, did they figure out who's boss? Yes, they did. It's Britain. Guess who's broke? Also Britain. So they start taxing the hell out of America. Fuck you, says America, declaring
War
their
of
independence and fighting for it.
Independence.
And France helps them win. Now France is broke. And
Yeah,
Britain will have
and
to
then
send
the
their
French
prisoners to a
Revolution starts
different
because of
continent.
it.
Wait, if France is broke, why do the king and queen still wear such fancy dresses? Let's overthrow the palace and cut all their heads off, said Robespierre, cutting everybody's head off until someone eventually got mad and cut his head off. You could make a No, don't. Haiti is starting to like the idea of a revolution, especially the slaves, who free themselves by killing their masters.
Yep.
Why didn't we think of this before? Wait,
Yep.
who's in charge of France now?
Napoleon
trying
and the
to take over Europe.
Napoleonic Wars.
Luckily, they banished him to an island. But he came back. Luckily, they banished him to another island. There goes Latin America, becoming independent in the Latin American Wars of Independence. Britain just figured out how to turn steam into power, so now they can make many different types of machines and factories with machines.
Yeah, the industrial age.
So they can make a lot
The
of
population
products
just
with
exploded. The
Then they invent some
industry,
trains. And conquer
the
India, and maybe put
inventions,
some trains there.
everything.
Hey, China, said Britain. Buy stuff from us. Nah, dude, we already got everything, says China. So Britain tried to get them addicted to opium, which worked, actually. But then
The Opium War. So the thing with China is they always had a bigger population and bigger economy than the rest of the Europe. But with the start of the industrialization, Europe started to be more and more economically strong, let's call it that way. And they wanted to expand their market throughout the world and to also subjugate more. And that also, like colonization and everything. But the Opium Wars were there because the Brits wanted to sell opium to the Chinese, and because the Chinese culture was more, let's call it, it's called mercantile. So they wouldn't let a lot of things to go into China, but they would extract things from China to other countries. And oh my God, this is so hard. And then the one thing that the Brits started to export to China was opium, and they wanted to get people addicted to it so that people want to buy and trade with them. And yeah, when the Chinese saw the impact on the population, that they get addicted and that they weren't productive and blah 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 blah, all the negative effects, they wanted to block it. Britain said no, and then the war started.
Then China made it illegal and dumped it all into the sea.
Yeah.
So Britain threw a hissy fit and made them open up 5 cities and give them an island. Britain and Russia are playing a game where they try to stop each other from conquering Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Also, the Sultan of Oman lives in Zanzibar now. That's just where he lives. India just had a revolution, and they would like to govern themselves
Yeah,
now.
but
Nope, said
it
Britain,
failed,
governing them even harder than before. Technology is about to go crazy.
Yeah,
The United States finally
after
figured out whether slavery is good or bad. It's bad, they decided.
Yeah,
and then they
the
continued
American Civil
manifesting their
War,
destiny, which is to kill the rest of the natives and take their land and maybe kick out
expenditure
the
to the
Mexicans
west,
too.
also American
I know, let's rape
Mexican
Africa, said
War,
Europe, scrambling to see who could rape it the fastest.
colonization.
Britain and France are still hungry. They never got Thailand. The United States ran out of destiny to manifest, so they're looking for more. Hawaii, Cuba. Wait, Spain controls Cuba. Well, blame something on them and go to war.
American-Spanish
What should we
War.
blame on Spain? Let's blame the Maine on Spain. So they blame the Maine on Spain. Now we're in business. To celebrate, they kick Panama out of Panama and make a canal, connecting the 2 oceans. Britain just found oil in the Middle East.
Yeah, the Panama Canal was a pretty important thing in the in the especially for the U.S. economy, because it connected the east coast and the west coast of the Americas, and then they would they could trade more efficiently with each other, because before that they would need to go all around South America, but now the trip is, I don't know, halved, or I don't know, 1/3 of the trip. So it was a pretty big thing for American economy and American history, the Panama Canal.
Out of Panama and make a canal connecting the two oceans. Britain just found oil in the Middle East. It makes cars go. China is so tired of being
American flag, like oil.
bossed around that they delete their old government and make a new, stronger government, which is accidentally weaker and controlled by a guy from the previous government. Europe hasn't had a war since the last war, so they start World War I. Look at those guns. It's going to be a great war. So great we won't need a second one. After it's over, they blame Germany. Russia went on strike and the workers overthrew the government.
Okay,
now
the
everyone's
Russian
paycheck
Revolution.
is the same. Communism in the Soviet Union. The Arabs revolted,
my God, this is going...
Now the Ottoman Empire is gone, so we can give the Jewish people a place to live. Hopefully the Arabs won't mind. Let's cut the cake, said Sykes and Picot, carving up the remains of the not-so-Ottoman anymore empire.
Except Turkey
makes a brand new Turkey. And then the Saudis conquer Arabia. It just seemed like the right thing to do.
The father of the Turks.
Yes, it's the 1920s calling. Let's get in the car and drive to a party and listen to jazz on the radio and go to the movies. The economy's great and it'll probably be great forever. Just kidding.
No, Big Depression.
Germany's back featuring Hitler, the angry mustache model, and he's mad at the Jews for existing. Japan is finally conquering the East, and they're so excited they raped Nanking way too hard. They should probably just deny it. Hitler's out of control, so the international community tackles him and tries to explain why killing all the Jews is a bad idea, but he kills himself before they could explain it to him.
Okay, we all know the story of the
Bonus
Second World
round,
War.
Pacific Showdown. United States versus Japan. Fight. Finish it. Let's unite all the nations and have some world peace. Seems legit. Hi, I'm Gandhi, and if Britain doesn't get the hell out of India, I'm going to starve myself in public.
Yeah, his peaceful marches.
Wow, that worked. Bonus, now there's Pakistan. Actually, two Pakistans. One of them could be Bangladesh later. The Jews in the...
The thing that a lot of people don't know is after they... So today's Pakistan, Bangladesh, and India were part of the British colonies, empire, whatever. And after they broke, like Pakistan, they wanted to be separate countries, Pakistan and India. And then there was big atrocities done in India and in Pakistan to, you know, like the other ethnicities. So in Pakistan to the Indians, and in India to the Muslim population. But yeah.
The Arabs finally figured out which one of them should live in the Holy Land. Me, they both said at the same time. Let's divide up the land so everyone's happy. Psych, they both get angrier. Yep. Look out, China. There's a new China in China. What's on the menu? Communism. No thanks, said the other China, escaping to an
Taiwan.
I wonder which one is the real China. There's the Korean War, Korea versus Korea. Nobody wins, then it's on pause forever. Let's meet the sponsors.
Yeah, the
it's
DMZ.
the two global superpowers. They're having a friendly debate over which economic system is good and which one is an evil virus of Satan. And they both have atom bombs. Fight! Wait, no, that would be the end of the world. Let's just keep it cool and spy on each other instead. And make sure we have enough atom bombs. I'll race you to space.
Yeah.
Now let's make some...
the space race, yeah. I made already a video on the space race. And I asked the question, like, who won the space race? And most of the people just answered, I don't care, in a sense of it's a progress for all humanity. And I asked that because some people see it really as a race, who was first, where, and so on. And they say, most of the people say, yeah, America won the space war because they, with Armstrong, the first man on the moon. But then you had Sputnik, the first satellite, Laika, the first dog in space, so the first animal. You had Yuri Gagarin, the first man in space. The first female was also a Soviet one in space. But yeah, I kind of agree with the tension, or with the opinion that I really don't care. It's like a progress for all humanity.
More countries fight themselves.
Yeah, the
Europe is
Vietnam
tired of
War,
pillaging
where
other
America
continents, and
lost.
the continents they were pillaging are tired of being pillaged. So here's a new map with new countries. Now you can't tell who they're being pillaged by. The United States finally decided whether racism is good or bad. They decided it's bad, and the world agrees. South Africa might need another minute to think about it. Let's check the world population. Whoa.
Yep.
Okay. Technology's better too, that might keep happening. The Soviet Union decides to relax a little and accidentally falls apart. Europe makes a union, so now they can all use the same money, except Britain because they don't feel like it.
And
Let's
other
check the mail.
countries
Surprise, it's on the
in
computer.
Europe.
Whoops, someone just attacked America. I bet they'll remember
9/11.
that. Phone call. Surprise, it's in your pocket. Want to learn everything? Surprise,
Yeah,
it's on the
now-
computer.
now
Now
the
your phone's
world
a computer,
gets
which is in your pocket.
smaller
Whoops, the
and
economy just
smaller
crashed.
and
Don't worry, the
smaller,
big
and
banks won't
everybody
fail because they're
interacts
not
with each other
supposed to.
even more and
Surprise,
more
flying robots.
easily and so
With
on.
bombs. Want to print a brain? Some people have no friends. Some people have no food. The globe is warming. And the ocean is full of plastic. Let's save the planet, said everybody, not knowing how. Let's invent a thing inventor, said the thing inventor after being invented by a thing inventor. That's pretty cool. By the way, where the hell are we?
Yeah, oh my god. I mean, this is pretty hard because, you know, like, I'm not a native English speaker, so it's pretty hard, you know, to like say 1, 2, 3 words only in those few milliseconds that something appears. But yeah, there is a lot of stuff to talk about in this video, a lot of details and so on, but I didn't want to go into the, you know, like the bigger stuff like First World War, 7-Year War, Second World War, whatever. There is a lot of stuff, and I hope that you're going to continue the discussion in the comment section below. Oh my, it was so hard. Oh. Okay, so yeah, I hope that you enjoyed it. Once again, if you want to be part of our community, just hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Discord server, Patreon, everything is down in the description below. And I need definitely a coffee, a new coffee after this one. Okay, until next time, see ya.